we'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Digicel. Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Courts, bringing value home. Mothers, love in every bite. Regency Petroleum Limited, the real price leader. And Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the Caribbean.
Nobody tell me about your team and them not make the semi. Game speed, girl, I call it Sugar Daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
All right, the final whistle has gone in some matches, and we're now into extra time. It is Fan Central Extra Time right here on CVM TV, and of course, we are powered by our friends at Pepsi, and obviously, we still have Digicel and our official food sponsor, Mothers. Now, as you already know by now, I'm Jordan Fort, I'm your host, and with me in studio, Jermaine Thomas. He is the tactician. Jermaine Thomas is the coach of McGrath High School. He's a head coach at Malines United. Of course, he's also a coach within the national under-20 program, and he is a proud Brazil supporter. And he is a man who is obsessed with tactics. On Zoom, we have a man who made 83 appearances for the Reggae Boys between 2000 and 2010. And he was known for his stalwart defending in his time, and he has now transitioned into coaching in the United States. His name is Tyrone Marshall, and he'll be taking us through what has happened from over there in the US, the home of the World Cup, one of the co-hosts, of course. And I know he hasn't switched his allegiance, or he's not cheering for the US to win the World Cup. He still has Jamaica at heart, of course. But of course, I know that he knows exactly what's going on with US football and can help us break down what's going on in the US camp. In the fan corner is a man who wears a different colored jersey every night, and he supports a team that luckily got into the round of 32 of the World Cup, and he's now talking up a storm. His name is Kimani O'Sullivan, and he has an interesting guest tonight in the fan corner with him, a familiar face. So that should be very, very interesting. And I'm tempted to say, no, I am correct. The first woman in the fan corner. So we're making history on Fan Central Extra Time. You don't want to move because you won't want to miss who we have in the fan corner tonight. Obviously, we also told you about our prediction game that we are starting today. We've actually started it, and we're going to be showing you that graphic throughout our show today. But suffice it to say, I'm probably leading based on the results that happened today. What? Why am I getting these looks? I predicted France 3-0. I predicted Norway 2-1. Well, Mexico, they're leading 2-0 now. I predicted Mexico 2-1. So Ecuador, hold up your end of the bargain, and then all my predictions will be right for today. I'll be on 18 points. But I'll tell you more about our prediction game. So we're going to be having a leaderboard. We're keeping score, and it's going to be 2 points if you guess the correct winning team, and an extra 4 points if you guess the correct winning score. Or if you predict, let me say predict, not guess, because we're not guessing here, right? If you predict the correct winning score, it's an extra 4 points. Obviously, if you don't get either the win or the winning score, then it's 0 points. So we're going to show you that later on today. Of course, today we've seen 2 games so far, Norway getting the better of Cote d'Ivoire by 2-1. And France swamping Sweden 3-0. Morocco overturning the Netherlands, so another European giant going home on penalties. And I don't know what it is about the Europeans. They've forgotten how to take penalty kicks. Germany, we saw it with them, and then we saw it again with Morocco versus Netherlands. And Netherlands, again, just in Jamaica, we said them sell some of them kick there. Now, I'm not suggesting anything. Sorry, probably wrong use of word. All right. So firstly, we want to talk about the first match that took place today. Norway getting the better of Cote d'Ivoire. Erling Haaland, of course, he was on the score sheet. He's inevitable. Scoring again in Norway's win. But Cote d'Ivoire coach Thomas, again, they're the nearly team. They come so close, but yet so far. And the Europeans in Norway are through. What were your thoughts on that game?
Just a little bit disappointed at Ivory Coast. I thought they were in it. They equalized. They got back in the game. Netherlands, I think they were leading 1 in Norway, and they kind of sat back and held line 2 for most of the time while they were leading. Yeah,
and there it is, 52% possession to Ivory Coast.
Right.
Versus 48 for Norway.
So Ivory Coast, as a stat is showing, they kind of controlled and because Norway sat back. No, for the life of me, Ahmad was a genius.
Mm-hmm. How did he not start?
Well,
how is he coming off the bench, right?
I'm not going to be knocking the coach because I'm not sure of the reasons. So let me not go there just yet. But anyways, awesome goal, good goal. But again, 1-1, fine. Norway, numbers forward. They now need to change things. Ivory Coast was not organized, if you ask me, because if the big striker Haaland is on the pitch, in our scouting report, we are going to be marking. We must know. Somebody must know where Haaland is going to be at all times. So I'm going to say to Tyrone Marshall, Tyrone, guess what? Jamaica is playing against Norway. Therefore, you as my senior defender must know at all times where Haaland is. Mm-hmm. No, for the life of me, again, run down the right-hand side. Sent off one, the first defender, the second defender, and the third defender, all got drawn to the ball. They were gone. Everybody now locked in. The ball came across the face of the goal. Haaland was standing by himself. How on God's earth you allow that?
Yeah.
So I was disappointed.
And I mean, if you saw that goal, the ball literally almost hit him more than he hit the ball. And still worse. Trickled across the goal line and into the goal. Tyrone Marshall, your thoughts on that and what Coach Thomas just said. How on God's green earth does Erling Haaland get that free that late in the game to score the winning goal?
Yeah, just to echo what Coach Thomas said. You have a big striker like Erling Haaland. He scored all these goals in the Premier League. How can you not have somebody man marking him at all times? Especially at 1-1, you have to be aware of the big striker because he's the guy that they're looking for. That's your target. So if you're marking Haaland out, then somebody else scored a goal. But you can't let Erling Haaland. 3 defenders went across. And basically, he almost missed that, He was so wide open. He was, the ball came across and surprised him. And just luckily, it just went in. But, like Coach said, you have to be a little bit more disciplined and you have to find the big striker. You can't miss him. The guy's like 6'5", 6'6". So you got to pick up the striker.
With long blonde hair. It's hard to miss that guy, right?
Yeah,
but 60 international goals now for Erling Haaland from 53 appearances. I mean, better than a goal a game. So...
a machine.
Yeah, Cote d'Ivoire, we probably can ease you up a little bit, because other people have come up against Erling Haaland and haven't been able to stop him. You know what he's going to do, but being able to stop him is another thing. We want to take a look at some other statistics as well. The final third entries and so on. This always tells us a story, Coach Thomas. There you have 21 from Ivory Coast to 15 from Norway. Again, that's why I say stats can be misleading sometimes, because look at the total shots. Ivory Coast leading there. Look at the final third entries. Ivory Coast leading there. Shots on target. Ivory Coast leading there. They still lose the game 2-1.
I mean, they were in it. They were dominant for a large part of the game. But you saw this against, I think it was Germany, They led Germany for 90 plus. And then the striker stood in the space between the centre half and the wing back, managed to control turn, finish. Now, this kind of indiscipline is unacceptable. When they're good, they're well organized, but when they're off, it is really sad to see.
Yeah, Tyrone, those stats, they say stats don't play football, right? Because those stats are telling us a different story from the final score. Yeah,
absolutely. And I've said it in previous shows that, box entries, if you look at the teams with the most box entries and, with a lot of attacking, tendencies, those tend to be the teams that come out on the winning end most of the time. However, in this particular situation, like Coach mentioned, Ivory Coast, they were on top of Norway. Until that first goal, that Norway scored, I thought Ivory Coast was going to pull out the victory. I thought they were on top of them. They're really aggressive going forward. However, goals changed game. And I think that changed the momentum a bit. And then obviously second half, they scored. But they were still on the front foot. And again, lack of concentration gave the big man the opportunity in the box. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Stats don't lie, but unfortunate in this game. You only need 2 goals, and that's what Norway did, and they put away the chances when they had it.
Yeah, they lied in that game, but I tell you what, they didn't lie in France versus Sweden, because France really swamped Sweden in that 3-0 performance. Kylian Mbappe, what can we say about him? They call the French incroyable. My French is not very good, sorry. They were irresistible today. So was Kylian Mbappe, and he's now joined Lionel Messi on 6 goals at this World Cup in the Golden Boot race. That's a real race to the finish, by the way. He scored in the 45th and the 74th minute. Bradley Barcola added France's other goal. Coach Thomas, how good is this France team? Can they be stopped?
Yes, they can, but it's a very good team, and if you're going to stop them, then you'll be prepared to really fight hard, because they have 3 players across their midfield, and then Mbappe that you have to deal with, and makes it extremely difficult. You're going up against speed, you're going up against good close skills, you're going up against persons who can shoot very well, and it makes it difficult.
Yeah, it's like pick your poison, Tyrone, because there's Kylian Mbappe, there's Ousmane Dembele, only the Ballon d'Or winner, right? Kylian Mbappe, only one of the deadliest strikers the world has ever seen, right? There's the likes of Desiree Doué, there's Bradley Barcola, who scored today. I mean, Michael Olise, whose name I haven't even mentioned yet, with his skills. I mean, how do you stop this French attack?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's going to be difficult. However, like watching the French game today, the France game, I would say, how France tried to play, or in my opinion, it create that qualitative, superiority on the wings, meaning that they isolate Dembele on one side, isolate Mbappe on the other side, and let them do the quality, use their quality to get by these defenders, right? And, that's how Mbappe scored the second goal, scored the first goal as well, but with some magic from Olise. Now, like I mentioned, how do you combat that? I think you're going to have a team like Morocco, who I think is capable of doing that, because they're brave with their playing. They're brave in their possession, they're brave to go forward. A lot of teams want to sit back and let France come at them. However, I think the Moroccans, it's a team potentially could pose the most danger to France, because they're willing to play with them, and their movement will cause France problems as well, and they have quality in that team.
Yeah, well, a couple of steps before they possibly get there, because of course France have to overcome Paraguay, and Morocco must beat Canada, and they'll be on a collision course in the quarterfinals. So that could be it. Coach, Tyrone just mentioned Mbappe on one side, Dembele on the other side, but I think what I've seen from France, and I want you to talk about this, Coach, in terms of, it seems like they can alternate with Mbappe playing out wide, and Olise coming more central, and then Olise going out wide sometimes, and Mbappe going more central, and the defenders are just not able to cope when they're rotating like that. Am I seeing correctly?
Yeah, you're right, you're spot on. The amount of rotation that takes place, and the flexibility of those 3 players across makes it even more difficult. But you saw Barcola today. It's Barcola, right?
Yeah.
You saw Barcola today. No, he was operating in the off space, and he's dangerous. So guess what? The wing back on that side have to be concentrating on Barcola. And then Mbappe now, he's a little bit wider. So the wing back now has 2 to be focusing on. Now the right midfielder on that side have to be all the way back. So that the centre half 1 and 2 will be coming across, and then guess what now? Wing back will be squeezing inside to cover, and guess what? The ball is now switched to Dembele or played inside to Olise.
Yeah.
And it creates problem because the distance the centre half will have to travel from that side to come central or to move back across. It makes it difficult.
Yeah, well, we're going to demonstrate that on the coach's playbook a little later on. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a break on Fan Central Extra Time. Lots more to come in the show. Don't move.
Static.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. Heart of Jamily cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Full up, me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School, silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi.
All right, welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. Time now for us to get into the classroom. Time for us to be taken to school. Coach Thomas is a coaching educator. He knows how to school us on this game of football. Kimani should be standing here because he needs some schooling. He thinks he knows ball, but he doesn't really know ball. Norway versus Cote d'Ivoire ended 2-1 in favor of Norway. We were just talking about the game before the break. Coach Thomas is now going to take us into the breakdown here on the playbook. Coach Thomas, take it away.
Yeah, so Ivory Coast, I think, dominated, and they dominated the central areas. They were very, very aggressive in these areas because Odegaard, who was a 10, defensively, you would not get a lot of work from him defensively, but however, he comes back sometimes. But Ivory Coast was dominant here. But I was disappointed again with their organization because no one again, Norway would have started playing and of course find some spaces between the centre halves, and I think that created some other problem. But for me, it was how they conceded the second goal. You would have seen Cote d'Ivoire, they would have been brilliant sometimes with their organisation, sometimes 5-4-1, nice low block, well organised and stuff like that. But today, they were off.
So how did they concede that second goal? Show us that breakdown,
quickly.
Coach.
Now, ball was played to Berg on this side of the pitch, all right, to the right-hand side. He went between the wing-back and centre-half one. Now, centre-half one came across. Likewise, centre-half two as well came across. And just using this as thing there, came across and left Haaland free here. No, this is unheard of, because one of my defenders should be centrally located, just a little bit closer, striking a better balance, and then of course the wing back would have to squeeze all the way inside here to make sure he's covering the second centre half, and that was not done. Hence, Haaland was free.
So they got drawn to the ball on this right-hand side where Berg was, and that freed up Haaland to make that run and finish the play.
Inside, and the ball came across, and that was it.
Yeah, well, I guess it's easier said than done, is it, to track Erling Haaland? Tyrone, as we said, many have tried, not many have been able to stop this goal-scoring machine. But we're breaking it down now, and of course we're looking at it on a static screen, and the coach is berating the players defensively. But how much do we put weight on Haaland's ability to find spaces, or is it more so of a defensive mistake by Cote d'Ivoire that led to that second goal? All right, having some issues hearing Tyrone just now, but coaches like to blame defenders. Is it the defenders' fault? Or Tyrone is back with us?
Yes.
How much blame do we put on the defenders as opposed to how much praise do we give to Erling Haaland in this situation?
I think a little bit of both, right? I think the defenders got dragged to the ball because of the angle that the striker or the winger got played in. So they were trying to get over, especially that particular time of the game. They didn't want to give up an opportunity. But I thought the Norwegian player was very smart to lay it across for Haaland. And knowing Haaland, his movement, very deceptive. You call it, we have this saying that he adjusts to readjust, meaning that he makes one movement to then create space, on the back shoulders of the defendant. And that's what he did really well to score the goal.
Yeah, adjust to readjust. That's an interesting statement. We want to go into the France versus Sweden game and put that one up on the big board for you as well, so Coach Thomas can go through it. I think perhaps we should just look at the goals scored by Kylian Mbappe and what, I guess we can say, what Sweden did wrong. Again, coaches like to blame defenders, don't they? And we're going to say all of what the Swedish defense did wrong, but we want to say some of what France did right and just how difficult it is to mark this France team. We talked about it, the kind of quality that they have in attack. So here we are, France versus Sweden, coach. What makes France so difficult to mark and break down, particularly those two Kylian Mbappe goals for us?
All right, quickly. Dembele, Olise, Mbappe, but Barcola stepping in the offside space here creates problem. And as a coach, you are going to want to man mark or double team Mbappe. Now, if Barcola is there, it means you'd have to send somebody else across to try and add some amount of extra coverage here. Now, when this is done, it frees up or it creates more space, because either your 6 or your 8 would have to go across to assist, because one of your centre half would have to stay a little bit central to try and create a balance just the same. So if he goes across, it frees up Olise, who loves to roam and move about the place. If he gets the ball free from Mbappe, if he gets the ball free here, he then switches to Dembele, because the defense line would have to squeeze all the way around to block the left-hand side of the pitch. And when it comes to Dembele, somebody like Dembele who can be so prolific when he's ready, acres of space, he's going to hurt you from here, and then the ball goes back across. While they are coming across, then Mbappe, Barcola Olise again filters in these spaces and you're in trouble. No, I'm going to be knocking my defenders again with Mbappe. Mbappe is right-footed, and for the life of me, again, and Tyrone probably can chime in at some point, but Mbappe went down here. At some point, Jordan, he's going to be cutting back. He's going to be cutting back on his right foot. Mm-hmm. He's not going to go with his left foot across. All right, he's going to dip and cut inside. He did just that, and he came inside. No, when he came inside, the wing back got beaten. He was left outside. Mm-hmm. He was left to dead out here. No, the center half, the second defender who was next to the ball and the player with the ball, never stepped up, none at all.
Yeah, but it's Victor Lindelof. He's not good. He used to play for Manchester United. He doesn't know about defending. Yeah. But it's one thing. I remember Arjen Robben for the Netherlands. They used to say everybody in the world know what Arjen Robben is going to do, but nobody can stop it, right? Kylian Mbappe, coach just said it. You know he wants to cut back on his right foot. Tyrone, you're a defender. Sometimes you know, but sometimes he's just so explosive. It's so difficult to stop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And like Coach mentioned, everybody knows he's going to come inside on his right foot. And you got to kind of keep pushing him to his left until he does something spectacular, in my opinion. And that's why I would keep doing as a defender. You can't shove inside on his strong foot, keep him on his weak foot, which is his left foot. And if he does something spectacular on his left foot, then we got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but then, and this is the problem, Coach, because you just look at those names there. Michael Olise, Bradley Barcola, and you have Ousmane Dembele on this side. You just don't know where to turn. So you're worried about the threat of Mbappe. But, I mean, even if you decide that you're going to send him left all the time, you're going to try to mark him out of the game, the other attackers are just so good and right on top of their game right now. I mean, we saw Olise for Bayern Munich, Barcola for PSG, they won the Champions League back-to-back, right? Dembele is the Ballon d'Or holder, right? Leading PSG to back-to-back Champions League titles. So, and they're dominating Ligue 1. So they have so much quality across that front four that we've been talking about that, I mean, even if you stop one Kylian Mbappe, then there's so much others to deal with. And that's why I think France is the most balanced team. I think they're the best team in this World Cup. Would you agree with that, Coach?
On paper, they are. On paper, they are.
No, but even not only on paper, we've seen the games.
On paper, they are. But guess what?
Coach, agree.
You would have seen Japan just yesterday against Brazil.
Yeah.
You have seen the setup and how they block the central areas. And if you're going to be operating or playing against France, then you would have your 8 and your 6 and your 7 and 11s would have to be on their P's and Q's when defending against them. And I just think it was Sweden, right? Mm-hmm. Sweden today was just poor in terms of how they blocked up and how they shifted and the rate at which they shifted.
Well, we saw Netherlands rip Sweden apart. They beat them 5-1. And we just saw France rip Sweden apart today as well. So you say on paper, but I mean, they've been playing the best on the field. Mbappe is joint leading Golden Boot race with Lionel Messi right now with 6 goals. And he's on 18 overall for his entire World Cup career, just one behind Messi, who's on 19. By the way, he's 12 years younger than Lionel Messi. So
quickly, Jordan,
he's going to probably end with that record.
I say on paper because if your organization and your structure is right, now, I don't care who you're playing against. Mm-hmm. Once you have persons who are willing to work, willing to get the job done, then it can be done.
Well, that's Paraguay's job next up in the round of 16. So let's see what they do. We're going to take a break on Fan Central Extra Time. When we come back, time to get the fans involved. Don't move. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Coming back.
When the Lala go net fi full up, match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real back.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Is
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5. I know I'm upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1 is called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Everybody. When the Lala go net a fi full up, match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team that a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bad a switchy.
Welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. So we've done the coach's playbook, and well, that's a playbook, but somebody might be playing around in the next segment. So, but before I go there though, Coach Thomas said he had an interesting dream, right? He says we were traveling to Cape Verde. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe because they're the new sensation in world football. And we're all traveling to Cape Verde, and Kimani gets stopped by immigration, and he wasn't allowed to enter the country. I'm not sure why. Maybe he didn't have his. He forgets everything. So maybe that is why. But I'm so sorry about that, Kimani. But it's coaches having sleepless nights. I guess he's trying to figure out how other coaches would stop Kylian Mbappe. So maybe that's why his dreams are so out of sorts. Kimani, what do you have for us in fame or shame?
Jordan, I'm not sure yet, because I'm just trying to process that dream that coach said he had about me getting stopped at immigration. Coach, you said customs. What was it? Immigration. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why you're having sleepless nights, coach. You want to talk about that on set, or you want to leave that?
Belgium going out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get to my fame or shame, because coach, you're working hard for to end up on this wall for the shame, But it's not Murphy's Law. It's not Murphy's List. Rashida isn't here, but Rashida, I'm going to make you proud. It's fame or shame. Give me my number 3 pick for the day. Can I have it, please? None other than Patrick Burke. Many of you might be saying, Kimani, Haaland scored. Haaland does what Haaland does. Maybe Antonio Nusa. What a banger of a goal. But if you watch football from a lens like mine, through eyes like these, you understand how important the engine room is. This player was all over the park today. Odegaard, he was doing well, but Patrick Berg, he was picking up the slack. He was defending, and not to mention that goal that coach expertly broke down, by the way. Patrick Berger ghosting into the box and playing a brilliant cross that I think scored the goal for Haaland, because that wasn't a shot. He scored though, good for him. But Patrick Berg, you're number 3 on the fame list. Good stuff. Give me number 2. I think you all know who this is going to be. Very straightforward. The Dictator. If you're on social media, you understand why I called him that. But Kylian Mbappe, brilliant. He's chasing Messi like a madman. 1 goal off Messi at the top of the World Cup scoring list. Can you imagine that? Mbappe, you've been brilliant. You do what you do. You're working to become the greatest World Cup player ever. And let me say, Kylian, you are on your way, sir. But you've been getting a lot of support. You've been getting a lot of help on your way. From who? Not Antoine Griezmann this year, but your new superstar number 10. Give me my number 1. You all know who it is. Michael Olise. Now, many of you might be saying, a little former Crystal Palace player, where was this? How do you make the move to Bayern Munich and just explode like that? Well, let me tell you something. When you're a baller, you find ways. When you're a baller, you go around other ballers and you elevate. That's what Michael Olise did, and he has been magnificent. Let me tell you, when you're talking about Michael Olise, people talk about nonchalance. So this is what I'm going to do to sum up Michael Olise. Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, that's what he does. He's okay. He's just going about his business. So that was me nonchalantly telling you that he's number 1 on the wall of fame. But it's fame or shame. Give me my shame pick. Emirs Faye. Emirs Faye. I have one question for you. Amad Diallo is an absolute live wire. Why is he getting subbed on so late in the game? Why are you giving Olahi so much minutes, knowing that you have a player like that on the bench? Amad Diallo is able to play as a 10. Nicolas Pepe can play as a 10. You throw Amad Diallo on the right wing. You have Yan Diomande, Nicolas Pepe, and Amad Diallo, and you've opted to bench this man in your must-win game. Give him a few minutes, he creates some magic, and then you're expecting him to bail you out. I love you, coach. You're a good coach, but you let your nation down today with those changes. Gentlemen, react to my list.
Mr. Nonchalant. All right, I don't think anybody, well, let me not speak for anybody. Coach, what do you think of his list?
Not bad. I'm just thinking quickly that oftentimes we speak about performances and we tend to forget 6s and the 8s. And I think Jamini and Rabio was exceptional today, and they did a lot of breakup after the organization and also stepping out of midfield into the attacking phase of the team and did really well. So probably I would have gone with one of them.
Coach, I understand now why you're not sleeping. I know now why you're not sleeping. Coach, you have a lot going on, man. You need more Pepsi, you need some mothers, you need some... Yeah, man, coach, let the sponsor them set you up. I know why you're not sleeping.
Tyro, what do you think of that?
Yeah, come on, and to be fair, I have to agree with you on this one. I have always been shouting from the top that Olise needs to get some praises. And you finally give him his flowers. So kudos to you, man.
Of course.
Voila.
All right, kudos. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Yeah.
No fast Jordan Fort. You're awfully quiet.
I mean, I'll give you that list, Kimani, because I like the out-of-the-box Berg pick. Because as you mentioned, for that Haaland goal, it was really not set up by Haaland. He knows how to pop up right place, right time. But if you look at the game in its entirety, you wouldn't say that Haaland had an outstanding game. And so not just because he got on the score sheet, you'd put him on your top 3. Obviously, the other 2 go without saying, Mbappe and Olise. But you know what's more interesting than what I'm talking about now? The fan corner. And what's more interesting than even the fan corner is who is in the fan corner tonight. And I'm excited to hear what this particular guest has to say, Kimani.
Of course, Jordan, none other than resident Italy fan. And I say Italy loosely because Jordan Quarry has joined us. Welcome to the fan corner.
Thank
Jordan,
you.
It's great to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I must say it just feels right to have you on Fan Central Extra Time.
Yes.
And it also feels even righter, pardon my poor English, that you're here beside me to discuss.
Of course. It couldn't be a better place
if I could, I'd love to pour you a drink, but I'll just leave that alone. All right, so Jordan, I must say though, before you get into the fan shenanigans, we have to test you. We have to vet you and ensure that you are what you say you are. You say you're an Italy fan, right?
Yes.
So you're prepared to
tried and true, never switch, never change, good times and bad.
Not good times right now, but let's jump into your Italy knows. How much you know your team.
Take time.
Take time, she says. You don't need any hints for this one. All right, so Jordan.
Yes.
How many times have your beloved Italy lifted the World Cup?
4-star generals. Thank you very much.
4 times. Okay,
yes.
Okay, she got that right. Correct. All right.
Extra points. 1934, 1938, 1982, 2006.
Bingo! Wow. Yeah, you know your stuff. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so who was the defender from Italy to win the Ballon d'Or?
My capo, Fabio Cannavaro.
Fabio Cannavaro is correct. And on that note, I'll ask you another follow-up question on Fabio Cannavaro.
Yes.
He coached a team at the World Cup. Which team was it? Your Ballon d'Or winning
I know,
captain.
but me look at my business about him. I coach a team now. I don't got to coach us. That's why we never made it.
Ouch.
Well, but listen, unfortunate comments made by him. Cannavaro coaching a team,
They didn't do well, I'll tell you that much.
That helps. Okay. Uzbekistan.
Very good.
Oh man, that is correct, Jodian. Wow. You know what? Certified.
I love my team.
Certified.
One team.
So Jodian, I know it's a hard time for you because Italy isn't there.
For the first, not the second, not the third time. It's the third time. But you know what?
Yeah.
Good times and bad. We're there.
Okay. All right, so how have you been enjoying the tournament thus far? Who's your favorite? Let me ask you that.
I don't have a favorite. So every single match I'm watching, I'm likely going for the underdogs. I'm very committed to having a good football match. I'm not hate watching every single match, so I'm not like, but I'm very happy to have seen yesterday the Netherlands go home. I'm very happy to have seen Germany go home. 3 out of 3 would have been Brazil going home, and Japan did everything to the very end to have Brazil go home. I'm slightly disappointed. They really and truly, I was heartbroken for them at the very end of that. Could have been a 3 out of 3 day. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Today, Norway did what they needed to do. France looks like a really, really difficult team to beat. But no, every single match I'm looking at just having fun and enjoying the football as we have it in front of us.
Yeah, Jodian, we were speaking about my top 3 earlier, and I know you were chiming in because you know ball. You're very, very adept in your knowledge of football.
Even as I continue to see you at work and explain to you that Belgium will not, in fact, be going much further than this. But yeah.
Who's the producer of this?
Where is it?
I need
but Belgium will not be going much further than this. In fact, you're lucky I make it so far. But you know what? Good for you. Good for you.
All right, so Jodian, you had a problem with one of my picks. I believe in that Norway game, you were edging towards Antonio Nusa to make the fame list. State your case.
Nusa, okay, so Nusa, in making the goal that he did today,
Brilliant.
Picked Norway out of being a normal and ordinary team to a little more special. You can see the change in the team after that goal. Before that, Sweden was edging to the break. They were edging to the half. Without a goal scored, they didn't look like... but Sweden didn't look like the underdog. No, Sweden didn't look like the underdog anymore. As they were making their way to the half, they looked like, okay, they could hang. That goal changed everything. Norway started looking brighter. Everybody started, and then things started looking better. Holland had an off game today. Though a ball connected to his foot, he was nowhere involved in the ball connecting to his foot. That's why I love the Berg pick. But I thought Nusa could have got a little shine today. I thought he definitely lifted the spirit of the team to get that second goal.
You know what, Jodian, that's a great case. That's a great case. So Antonio Nusa, you're number 3.2. All right, so who do you think will take home the cup, though? As an outsider looking in with their 4 trophies over there.
I want to let you know it's either France or a team that has never seen the World Cup before. And since only 2 continents have ever won the World Cup, I think it could come from a place we have no expectations of. So Cabo Verde could do something really exciting for me and send home Argentina, for example. You could see like all the storylines play out in ways that you just don't have before. I think you have a team like Morocco and a defensive-minded team like that could be the way you're looking at something that could be exciting.
Jodian. A team that has never won it, you say?
Yes.
A team that nobody sees coming, you say?
Yes. No, you do. Right. But the principle...
So you change your thought now.
No. Belgium in this competition has yet to show that they've shown up. So Sweden, how they got to this competition, very controversial. Today's results expected. Belgium is not showing anything unless you have somebody in the back room that you're pulling out. There's nothing that you have there that's going to be allowing me to see. Now, mind you, though, we've been seeing teams show up on the day. It is the knockout competition. The penalties have been making a show. It's only day 3 and already my heart is racing. So who to tell? You might make it, but you and I would be surprised if you do.
I was really enjoying having her here.
But you know, she made a very good point there, Kimani, in terms of the fact that Europe and South America just own this thing, right?
Continents.
And the thing about it is that I know there is the affinity from a Jamaican perspective to the African continent and wanting to see a team, you know, an African team, a team from the African continent win the World Cup. It has never happened. But I must say, though, that based on what we've seen so far in this World Cup, there's nothing to really change our mind to say, boy, I really think Morocco can win it. Or, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I mean, Cote d'Ivoire's gone home now. Do we think Senegal can win it? They've got to beat Belgium. I think they might beat Belgium, by the way. But there's nothing to suggest, Coach Thomas, that is the winner is going to come from either outside of Europe or South America, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Because you're thinking France. We're thinking, I mean, Spain were one of the pre-tournament favorites. I'm not so high on Portugal as many people have been. But Argentina are the reigning champions, and Lionel Messi is on an absolute tear. Tyrone, what do you think? Does that outside pick look likely based on what we've seen?
Not necessarily. Like I mentioned before, I think I'm giving it the answer to the questions here, right? Where if Morocco beats France, I think Morocco has put themselves in a really good spot to potentially, you know, make some issues. However, if that doesn't happen, I think it's France. It's gonna come from Europe. I don't think the South American. I don't think Argentina has a quality like France. I don't think Brazil is going to get to that point. I think it will go back to Europe. Like I said, if Morocco beats France, I think you got to watch out for the Moroccans. You know, they're the team, I think, potentially.
Yeah. You know, I want to see a Brazil-Argentina clash. And hopefully we can, we're either going to get a France-Argentina repeat of the final, or maybe France-Brazil. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Colombia. My producer is saying something about Colombia, but I think you're talking about taking a vacation. After the show ends. We can probably take a vacation to Colombia. Maybe.
Whoa.
I don't know. Let's take a break on Fan Central Extra Time and come back with lots more after this. Stay with us.
Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bad switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. Now bad tell me about your team and them to make the semi.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1 is called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love Pepsi. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
When the Lala go net off full up, match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bad switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School.
I tell you what, the discussions off air are almost as interesting as the discussions that we have on air. Jody, and by the way, in the break, added the USA as one of the outside picks for the World Cup. Remember, we're saying Europe and South America, they've won all the World Cups, so maybe an outside continent will win it outside of those two. African continent, we may want it, or some people may want it. Not really seeing it. But Morocco probably.
I definitely think if they don't get it this year, they definitely have the ability to pull something together for 2030.
They're getting closer. And you know, it's so interesting. The World Cup has been going on since 1930, right? And nobody outside of Europe or South America. Yeah, crazy. Brazil has won 5. Jody's team has won 4. They're not at the World Cup now, but yeah.
Belgium?
No, Belgium. No, Belgium is on the European continent, but they're not going to win the World Cup, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, time now for our hot topics. We want to react to some of what's been going on off the field of play at the World Cup. Carlos Queiroz, he's the coach of Ghana now, and coached Iran for several years, but he has something interesting to say about the balance of power in the World Cup and the haves versus the have-nots. So he's saying that money is now running football, it's Moneyball. Right, he's complaining about that. His Ghana team, by the way, faces Colombia in the round of 32. Colombia, which my producer is, I don't know, for some reason telling me about in my earpiece. And I don't know if it's an all-expense paid trip to Colombia for a nice vacation.
That's the case.
But I don't know if they even get past Ghana. But I like the Colombia team, by the way. I'm not hating on the Colombia team. I like them. But I don't think they have a chance to win the World Cup. But Carlos Queiroz, does he have a point? And the question really is, though, is this point a new point? Because I think it's always been the rich versus the not so rich in football. And yes, South America has dominated in the past, but now we see where Europe has taken over. And barring Argentina's winning the last World Cup, you know, it was always about the haves versus the have-nots. He's saying, though, that money is making decisions on the field. And I don't think there are any, you know, if there's any evidence, Coach Thomas, to back up those claims.
Deep waters to tread in. And, you know, you can't be in trouble if you go there because there's no proof to say that whatever is going on. But football has always been about money and the richer countries and the more developed countries, the first world countries. You would have seen clubs in the world, the richer clubs always dominate. Champions League is only played by European teams and stuff like that. But smaller nations are being getting, more monies are being given to them to develop their football. And that is being done. Hence why you're seeing 48 teams, 19.5 million US, I think, is being given to teams for just making it to the World Cup. And they can use those monies to fix their problem. So you can put another spin to it. But what he was alluding to, scary to comment on because there is no proof to that.
Yeah, Kimani, Carlos Queiroz, I think he's the same one who asked if VAR went on a vacation after, I think that was the Enzo Konza challenge that was not ruled a penalty, and now he's talking about, you know, money making the decisions on the field. He's a man who's not afraid to tread in deep waters, as Coach Thomas said. But what do you think about his comments?
Yeah, it's a huge claim. Nothing new though, and of course it's an emotional manager feeling aggrieved by no call against his team in a huge match. It must be said, but in more ways than one, I think it's a multi-layered comment. I guess he wasn't alluding to club football and the powers that be spending all that cash and getting all the talent and so on and so forth and the little man suffering. But he just felt aggrieved that, you know, Ghana as a nation that, you know, probably won't sell as much tickets and draw and garner the visibility like an England. So VAR said, it's okay if we overlook that one, Jody, and it's just Ghana. You know.
No, they didn't say that. They did not say that, Kimani. Kimani, be careful what you're doing over there.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean,
Tyrone,
it was an emotional record.
Tyrone, I'm not seeing that. I'm not necessarily writing off Carlos Queiroz's claims, but what are you seeing based on what he said?
Yeah, a lot of it, you know, I'm going to speculate here because, again, we can read into it as much as we want. But going back to what Kimani was saying, the big nation, the England, I think they're a little bit more attractive when it comes to the commercial side of it. Whereas at Ghana, maybe you don't have that commercial appeal. So maybe that's the angle he's approaching it with. And again, it's a speculation. We don't know what's in his mind, and so, I would leave it at that, but that would be where my argument would go in that direction, where England being, a bigger country or in terms of advertising, money and stuff like that, where Ghana now doesn't have that appeal in terms of the advertising and the crowd, so to speak.
All right, well, as we move on in the hot topics, normally when you lose a football game, Coach Thomas in Jamaica, and them say, well, you can't, if you played badly, you can't go on the team bus. You have to find your way home. You have to walk or something. Find your way home. Well, guess what? Uruguay, they were ousted, right? In the group stage of the World Cup. And a proud nation that has won the World Cup before, what did they do? Cancel the private jet. They canceled the private jet and said the players have to fly commercial. You don't deserve a private jet. Getting knocked out in the group stage of the World. Come on. Expectations are higher than that. Canceling the private jet. What do you think about that, Coach Thomas?
Harsh, tough one, but South Americans take the football very, very serious. Remember,
seriously.
Some time ago, Ronaldinho's statue, I think, was destroyed in Brazil. I think it was a 2010 World Cup.
Or it might have been 2014 after the 7-1.
No,
Germany?
No, it was Neymar. It was Neymar.
Oh, okay.
7-1. But South American team, very, very tough people to deal with. They love their football. But it's harsh though, really, really harsh, and can be a little bit unfair to the players. But I'm thinking that the under 19s and 17s, seeing this, would probably want to tweak their approach.
Kimani, listen. If we said to our players, listen, you lose, no private jet for you have to take regular plane. Maybe one day we'll see Jamaica finally return to the World Cup. Maybe that's the seriousness we need.
Well, why not Belgium winning?
We can't forget about that.
Okay.
All right. We continue in the hot topics. We have one more topic for you. What are we coming up with now, Mr. Producer? What do you have for me? What are you pulling out the bag? The Germans struggle to find their sixth. Nobody wants to take the penalty. I always wondered about this.
Gosh.
Tyrone, you can comment on this first. I always wondered, why don't coaches set the order for penalties regardless of who is on the field? So even if they make a substitution, everybody out there knows who takes first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Why is that not set?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know how the approach is by the coach, but I know in my experience, the day before we go over a penalty kick and know the order. Even if you're not on the pitch, we know the next person will drop down in the order, right? Depending on who's on the pitch. But I don't understand, how do you have a centre-back kicking the fifth penalty kick? I could never, in my mind, imagine a defender kicking the most important kick, I can never imagine that part. You have to put somebody else with a little bit more calmness, a little bit more quality, that a closer, not a centre-back.
That's Jonathan Tah. My producer is saying that Goretzka was supposed to actually take that penalty. I don't know, did he chicken out? But coach, do you do that? Do you set it up? Do you instruct them? Or is it a case of you allow whoever wants to take the penalty to take it?
It depends on the team you're coaching, their age in terms of playing age. And
what do you do for big men?
Sometimes allow them to. When it reaches that stage, Tyrone and them guys playing, you allow them to. But sometimes you can set from the day before. Penalty quickly, heavily psychological. Bigger teams tend to crumble here because all of a sudden, why are we here? What are they going to say? So the pressure it heaps on you, it's harder for the bigger teams to cope with that. And we saw Germany suffering from that, I think.
Yeah, and it's, as I said, it's strange. I always grew up hearing Germans don't miss penalties. They had won 4 straight penalty shootouts at the World Cup, Kimani. Jonathan Tah stepped up despite never taking a penalty in his career. Mind-boggling, but he was just the bravest guy out there.
Yeah, Jordan, and I just want to take it from a different perspective, because through a different lens, Jordan. How is this information being leaked to the media about who was? Is it a case where you know, the cameras caught that Kimmich was asking everybody, you're gonna kick, you're gonna kick, that's the case.
Because Goretzka said no twice.
So that
you
was the
could
case.
see, and you have vets now, so you have younger players who are sitting down there having to make this decision, while you have people who should be able to bear the weight of being able to, 1, perform in the moment, 2, have experience having now had penalty kicks, and 3, if you get it wrong or right, be able to deal with the weight of it afterwards. Yeah, somebody, a baby like Jonathan Tah going up, that's unreasonable, but also setting this in advance is helpful. But again, as coach said, the fact that you had to get to this place to then have to take penalties, I suppose is very scary.
So the information that got out to the media is that at 6, Goretzka is supposed to kick, and
he said no twice. Other players, and Nathaniel Brown said
visually
no.
on camera, Kimmich was being shown, because I'm asking if this is the case. He was visually asking, hey, you're gonna kick Goretzka, and Goretzka said no, and this was visually done in front of the cameras. Is that what we're saying? Because I'm not of the opinion that in that moment, no, I know there's a picture, and we have a picture here, and that's a still shot. But I'm saying, was this video evidence, or was this just reports coming out of the Germany camp?
Like you could see.
If it was reports out of the Germany camp, I have a problem with that.
No, you could see. So you could
need to protect your players.
You protect your players at the same time, but you also have vets who are saying no, and younger players being the ones that are choosing.
I do remember the case with Cristiano Ronaldo in the Euros, I believe, and he was saying, Joe Moutinho, come kick, you kick them well. But in this case, I'm not sure if I saw that visually, but hey,
well, guess
cameras
what?
everywhere.
Guess what? There are, I think, 45 cameras at least at every World Cup game. And so the camera is going to pick up something. And as you said, they're leaks. Trust me,
That's what I'm alluding.
More leaks than as trust me.
And that's
Jordan, can I chime in real quick?
Quickly, Tyron.
I think there was a letdown in the German camp. Because you should have someone, a coaching member of the coaching staff, should be in charge of set pieces and should have that organized. So I would put the blame on the German coaching staff in that particular situation.
All right, well, as I told you, we started the predictions. I just want to run through them quickly. I got Norway winning 2-1, correct. I got France beating Sweden 3-0. Mexico, I said, would win 2-1. They won 2-0, so I didn't get that one right. Kimani got Norway 2-1. He had France winning 3-1. And he had Ecuador winning 1-0, so 0 points for that. Coach Jermaine Thomas had Norway winning 2-1. He had France winning 4-0, so he had the win right, but not the scoreline. And he had Mexico winning 2-1, so didn't get that one right as well. And Tyrone Marshall had Norway winning 2-1. He had France winning 3-0, and he had Mexico winning 2-1. So he had the same exact prediction as I did. So he got 2 out of 3. Just like I did. So we're tied on points now, Tyron. We're at the top of the Golden Boot race.
Group work are going over this.
No, Tyron didn't see my picks, and I didn't see his picks. I'm seeing them for the first time. So we're continuing our prediction challenge. We've already submitted our predictions for the matches tomorrow, folks. So we're not trying to rig the thing, right? My producer is saying that Kimani is just too emotional with his picks, because he's saying, who picked Ecuador to win a match over there? I never picked Ecuador over Mexico, but Kimani was going with vibes, as he usually does.
Belgium.
That's not true. That's just not true.
Belgium.
That's all you need to say, right? He supports Belgium.
Belgium.
That's all you need to know. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're out of time on Fan Central Extra Time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had as much fun as we did. We're going to be back with you tomorrow at 9:10. Of course, we cannot do this without the help of our kind sponsors. Obviously, our friends at Pepsi have been with us from day one and making all of this possible. Then we have Digicel, of course, and also Mother's, or food sponsor. Thank you so much for joining us. 9:10 tomorrow is when we are back. You don't want to miss Fan Central Extra Time. Bye-bye for now.